It's the Dream It Alive show. I'm your host, Ash Kumra, co-founder of DreamItAlive.com. DreamItAlive.com is a global community guiding you to create your dream life with visualization tools, dream boards, and helpful personal development content. Check it out at DreamItAlive.com, and why not become the best version of yourself? So all about becoming the best version of yourself is a really good topic for this talk, because one of the things that really can help you, whether you're building a business, whether you're trying to take your business next level, or whether you're just trying to, gain better traction with your personal or workplace life, is your image, your public relations image, your self-branding image. I mean, this is something I've talked about in various episodes, and I feel that it's something that we all can constantly improve on. It's kind of like working out, right? One day you can run a 7-minute mile. Okay, great. Let's take it to the next level. You can run a 6-minute, 45-second mile. Great. Let's try 6:30 the next day. Let's try 6:15 the next day. Same with your image and how you are projecting yourself both inside and out. It's just something that's an ongoing hustle, ongoing improvement. And the better you get at it, the more abundance, the more opportunities, the more likely that your own dreams could come true. And that is why I'm so excited to have Hillary Gadsby on this interview. She is known for creating some awesome events. She's worked with various public relations, corporate events, product launches, fashion shows, and fundraisers. She's worked with Ralph Lauren, Gucci, Vera Wang, to name a few of her clients. She's also the founder of, I love this name, by the way. It's so cool. Stilettogal. It's a multimedia platform to empower and connect women in business and inspire young girls to become entrepreneurs. And we'll also talk about why she decided to create that. But it's going to be great. I'm really excited to talk to her about her advice on how we all can become a better, what I call public relations success, and really take our own reputation and own calling to the next level. So, Hillary, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Ash. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's totally my honor. Totally my honor. So, Hillary, why don't you tell us a little about yourself? How did you get to where you are right now?
So when I was about 19 years old, well, actually, we can go a little bit further. When I was about 11 years old, I decided to become an entrepreneur, and I started making some scrunchies for a client of mine who happened to, she was like a babysitting client of mine, and I started selling those scrunchies to her, and then her friends wanted to buy them from me, and so I became like a little mini entrepreneur with my scrunchies at 11 years old. And from there, I did other little businesses, and then when I was 19, I moved to Paris, France, where I became a jeune fille au pair, which is a nanny, for a year, and I studied French for a year at the Sorbonne. And I decided to stay in Paris and finish out my college degree, where I have a degree in international business from the American University of Paris. And from there, I started working at Ralph Lauren as an intern, and kind of started to build what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, which was kind of be in the fashion world and kind of the PR marketing world. From Ralph Lauren, I worked with some other French brands, and in that, I got to work with a gentleman by the name of Mounir Moufarige, and he is a branding and marketing expert, and he was the one who brought Chloe, Phoebe Philo to Chloe, and Stella McCartney to Chloe, and created really what the brand is today for Mont Blanc, the black pen with the white tip. And I learned everything I know from him, especially when it comes to your own personal brand. It's very important for you to project your own personal brand within your business. I start from the bottom and work my way up. So basically, with my shoes, I pick out my shoes first, and then I start out, and then I put my whole outfit together. And that's kind of how I start my day. And I make sure that everywhere I go, I am impeccably dressed, because I think it's really important, because you never know who you're going to meet, even in a plane. So don't wear sweats and, Ugg boots on a plane. Be as polished as you possibly can, because you really never know who you're going to meet. And that's something that my mother taught me my entire life.
Give us an example of when being in your prime or being ready for that moment, image-wise, has helped you, like an experience or a meeting or something unexpected that came successfully because you dressed and looked and felt the part.
My entire business, actually. I would say that because I'm known for being polished and sophisticated and dressing well, especially my shoes, and it has really helped me build the brand my own brand. So that's kind of where Stilettogal came from. Is that I've started to build my own personal brand through the clothes that I wear and the shoes that I wear. And I think that it's so important to have your own personal brand and have your own personal style, so that people see that you stick out from the crowd.
Okay, cool. So how did you use what you are talking about to take your agency to the next level?
Well, in terms of Stilettogal, what I did is I was always known for wearing certain pairs of shoes, very high heels, really kind of fun colors, and I started to, a lot of my clients were like, "I love your shoes, you should do something with it." And I was sitting with a blogger friend of mine one day, and she said, "I love your stilettos," and it just sort of came into my head, and I started thinking, how can I use the stilettos to empower more women? I was doing a lot of stuff in my company with a Gadsby Affair and Gadsby Media Group with women. I did an event series called A Chance to Walk in Someone Else's Shoes, which was all about giving back to Dress for Success, but also showcasing a woman entrepreneur and her road to success. So we had a really great event with 85 broads. Now it's called the Elevate Network, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But we had about 100 women come and donate a pair of shoes to Dress for Success, which is an organization that helps women who have suffered from substance abuse get back into the job market. So they provide them with shoes and handbags and also clothing for their job interviews.
Okay.
So the event, right, exactly. So it was a great event. The women, the Dress for Success got 200 brand new pairs of shoes from these women, and I got to sponsor Soul Society, which is an online shoe retailer, to donate brand new pairs of shoes to the women who donated. So that we created a pop-up store, and then I had Samira Azamanfar, who's the founder of Bella Cures, come in and talk about her road to success and the importance of giving back. So that's kind of how everything started, and for me doing a lot of things with women and targeted towards women and empowering them. So that in my Gadsby Media Group, that has helped my brand tremendously, using kind of the shoe as my platform.
I love that, using the shoe as the platform. Wow, we should have changed the interview title to that. How to use your shoe as your platform. Wow, I love it. And the fact that it's stilettos, that's a platform shoe already, right? That's kind of interesting.
It is.
Wow. Well, I want to dive, before we dive into Stilettogal a little further and why you're so passionate about it, I have a couple more questions about, your agency and the self-branding kind of success that you've had.
Absolutely.
What are some tricks or tips or advice you would give to that young person, young not age-wise, young in industry-wise, who's getting their feet wet in the corporate world or entrepreneur world, and how to be, dress, and feel successful? Like, what comes to your mind? It could be men or women.
What comes to my mind? I think you have to find your own personal style so you stand out from the crowd.
How do you find that?
So if you have your own personal style, then dress that way so that you really do stand out from the crowd. I'm conservative with a little bit of an edge, and I've used that obviously with the stiletto, and also in terms of somebody starting out. When you need to build your network when you start out, and the more people you know, the better. And if you have that certain difference from anybody else, your network will grow faster.
Okay. How do you find that? I know I asked this while you were talking, and I apologize for interrupting you. How do you find that style? Because I'll give you an example. So I've met people that, let's say they're really in shape, and they're really good, they just work out a lot. And because they have such a good body, wearing more tightly body pressed clothes shows them as fit and confident, versus someone who might be fit and confident, but they don't necessarily feel right wearing those clothes, and they tend to wear baggy clothes. But being fit is already your style. So shouldn't you wear fit clothes?
I mean, not necessarily. I think you should wear what makes you feel the most comfortable and the most confident. For me, putting on a structured dress is going to make me feel more confident when I walk in a room, a structured dress with high heels. I can be in a room of, 17 investment bankers and feel very confident in a red dress and really high heels. Somebody else might feel more confident and more comfortable in a power suit. It really just depends on how you feel as a person in what you wear.
Okay, that's fair enough. Let's talk about Stilettogal because I love the name, by the way. Like anything, I do a lot of self-promotion for these interviews, and I was so happy to see at least over 40 likes within the first 12 hours of me posting this post on Facebook. And some of them are your friends, and some of them are my friends, people who you might not even know yet, and some are just DreamItAlive.com audience members. And I got a couple messages from people saying, that is the coolest name, that is the coolest name. Walk me through how you came up with that name. I'm big on brands and branding and how people come up with names. How did the name Stilettogal come about?
It really, I was sitting with a blogger friend of mine, and it sort of popped into my head. I'm a very creative person, so a lot of ideas just sort of start popping in my head when I'm talking about something. And she just said, I love your stilettos. And it immediately came into my head, and I bought the domain name right then and there, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I was like, well, maybe I'll just start a blog, and it'll help with my Gadsby Media Group, and I'll kind of go from there. But then I started thinking about it, and I said, I think I can really do something about this. And I feel like, for women and to empower women, we are trying to be as equal as possible, but we are in a man's world, and I want women to feel feminine and completely confident if they're going to wear a dress and stilettos. And so that's what Stilettogal is about. It's about still showing that you're feminine. You don't have to be masculine in a masculine world. If you show that feminism and also in wearing what it is that you want to wear instead of dressing down, that's where that comes from. And when I came up with Stilettogal, the first tagline was a day in the life of a woman entrepreneur as told by her shoes. So it was kind of a day in the life of my life as told by my shoes. So I would take pictures of my shoes, and I would talk about what I did that day. And I did it 5 days a week. It was quite a lot. It's difficult being a full-time blogger, but it's sort of transformed into and morphed into what it is today, which is the multimedia platform to empower and connect women in business and inspire young girls to become entrepreneurs. And I think it's really important that women connect with each other on many different levels.
Okay. I loved what you just said, and you definitely struck a positive chord with me when you said that, this is a man's world. I want to defer on that for a second, just to give you a different thought. Just so you know, I work with two women entrepreneurs. I co-founded DreamItAlive.com with two women entrepreneurs. So when you talk about the whole feminine energy, I totally agree with you. I've said this in past interviews. I think that when you combine masculine and feminine energy together, magic happens. I can tell you right now that there will never be another DreamItAlive.com because of the combined masculine feminine energy. Not because we have the best online dream board, or not because, we might have some proprietary technology, or not because of our traction. Those are all things that people will always come and go, and that's why it's great about business. But because of the DNA of our business combining masculine and feminine energy, that is why there will only be one Dream Alive, and it's not about competing with others, it's just about being the best version of ourselves, which is why I said that in the beginning. That said, how would you comment about people like Oprah, or people like Tyra, or people like the Spanx woman, self-made billionaire, or other women entrepreneurs that are literally owning their market, owning their message, owning their voice? Do you really feel that they are in a man's world?
I feel like it's changing, but I do still think that women today strive to be just as powerful as men. And yes, Oprah and the woman from Spanx, they are powerhouse women, absolutely powerhouse women. but they are still in the man's world, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I completely agree with you 110% that men and women together make magic happen. Both energies make magic happen. And Oprah doesn't have only women on her staff; she does have men, just as well as other people, other powerhouse women. I think that there's a need for both in an organization.
Okay, so I'm going to just be a little devil's advocate here. Tell me when you have done a idea or venture or opportunity where you saw your feminine energy work with masculine energy, not where you hired someone, but where you partnered with men and magic happened.
Well, with Gadsby Media, what we do is we help you to reach your target clientele through the platform of events and other strategic marketing. And I've worked with, most of my clients happen to be men in finance. And what we've done is combining my ideas and my feminine energy and bringing in kind of what other people like as hobbies, like cars and watches and jewelry and things like that. I've been able actually to create something a few years ago, which was Aston Martin cars and Jaeger-LeCoultre watches, and it was a room full of both men and women, but it was a finance event. It was all about it was all about retail and finance, and it was for a client of mine, and they were trying to reach a wider audience, not just women. So that was a hugely successful event, and it was both men and women, and the client happened to be very male dominated.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I just wanted to get a better context of when you explained that. Let's dive into female entrepreneurship, since you're very passionate about it, and Stilettogals. What are your thoughts on the subject? And the reason why I bring that up is because I have a different view. I already mentioned to you that I work with two awesome female entrepreneurs, and I feel that there's opportunities available for women entrepreneurs if you stick to your dreams and goals. I feel that my own view is that if you play the role of a victim, you're going to get victim opportunities. When you play the role as look, I'm just going to be the most kick-butt entrepreneur in the world. I'm going to stick to what I'm passionate about. People are going to care if you're a female entrepreneur or not. What do you think of that, what I just said?
And
if I'm wrong, tell me. That's totally cool. I'm just giving you a viewpoint. I'm just trying to have a good conversation here.
No, I don't think that you're wrong at all. I do feel that women have a little bit more fear.
Okay.
So we do tend to, I don't want to say cower, but we do tend to, let's just say, for example, in how we charge. So let's just say service company. A lot of times women will, they will charge less just to get the job when they should be actually charging more so that they show more value. And I think that's something that we struggle with, is to show our own value.
Got it.
So I do agree with you. I do feel that there is that disconnect, and I feel that going back to masculine energy, I do feel that men can help women when it comes to negotiation and showing their value.
Okay. So let's talk about what are some industries, or what are some niches that you feel women entrepreneurs should tackle? When I mean that, I mean Spanx is like an insanely great example. I mean, by the way, Spanx owner is a big advocate of visualization and dream boards. So maybe that's another reason why I'm an advocate of her. But she really found a specific need that women around the world needed to fix. What are some other Spanx type opportunities?
Well, I think a lot of women entrepreneurs go into lifestyle brands like Spanx. That's kind of a hard question to answer, to be honest. I think that there are more and more women going into tech, which I think is fantastic, because we do need women in tech, because it is very male dominated. But women tend to go to lifestyle brands. I mean, Stilettogal is kind of a lifestyle brand, and so is my marketing company. I work mostly with, I work with financial service firms, but I also work with lifestyle brands. I think that we have an affinity towards lifestyle brands. Tory Burch, she started her fashion line, and now she has a foundation. Again, another lifestyle brand. But she's still a powerhouse woman. So I don't think that there's any specific industry that women shouldn't go into. I think women can really do whatever they want if they set their mind to it.
What I was saying is that what are some industries, that they might want to, that have not been tackled yet? I'm sorry. That's what I was referring to. Not that they should because they're women entrepreneurs. Like, what are some industries that just haven't been capitalized yet? And I just use Spanx as an example. She went into it because she's like, shoot, no one's really tackling this. I'm the core customer as a woman. I'm going to go do it. What are some other industries that are, or niches or anything like that you feel? Like if you had the ideal investor give you the money, or you had enough cash flow to create it on your own, what would it be? Like, I'll give you an example. I had a conversation with someone, and believe it or not, there's a huge opportunity for, I call it bump wear, maternity wear in countries abroad, such as China, India, et cetera, et cetera. Like out here, we obsess about Kim Kardashian. What did she wear when she was pregnant? Or what did, Halle Berry wear when she was pregnant? Like, what was that bump wear? That's an example that I feel that a woman could do because A, they know what it's like to be pregnant, or they have that, they understand the curvature and stuff like that. What are some industries or niches you feel women entrepreneurs might want to look into for 2015 that haven't really been owned by anyone yet? Own meaning market traction.
I'd like to see more women in technology.
Okay.
Definitely. And I'd like to see more women in maybe the biotech industry as well.
Yeah, that's true. Biotech is such a huge opportunity.
Yes. I agree. I mean, I have a really good friend of mine. I'm sure you know her. She has a biotech company that she started at college in Colorado, and she's doing really well, and she's traveling all over the country promoting that one as well as her other one. It's Nancy Liu from Unplug.
Yeah, she's a hustler of hustlers. And yep.
Yes, a complete hustler of hustlers, and an amazing young woman entrepreneur. And she has really gone into biotech. And then also the woman who created, I think it was the blood test. I think that she's pretty amazing as well.
Yeah. No,
the blood test that you could do at home or something like that. I forget what it's called, but there's a young woman who is capitalizing on that market as well.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you there. One last question about Stilettogal, and then we'll dive into some audience questions. I'm happy to say we have some really good questions.
Of course.
Where do you see Stilettogal going? So on your own dream board for 2015, what are the things that you want to accomplish with it? And what is that vision you see?
So for Stilettogal, I want to, right now it's a blog, and then we just started a speaker series called Secrets of Successful Women Entrepreneurs that was a huge hit, and we're doing another one on January 14th at 41 Ocean in Santa Monica, and we're actually featuring the CEO of Style Hall, which I'm very excited about. And so I'd like the speaker series to grow, to showcase as many women entrepreneurs as I can in Los Angeles. And outside of that, we want to do college tours where I would go around and bring in entrepreneurs. So taking the speaker series kind of on a road show, but to colleges, and inspiring those young girls to become entrepreneurs, because I feel that our economy would benefit greatly with more female entrepreneurs.
Okay.
That's where I'd like Stilettogal to go in 2015.
I love it.
To name a few things. I have a TV show that we're working on as well, but
Wow. What are you not working on? That's amazing. Well, awesome. Well, I feel that you will achieve that dream. Your passion is so exuded when you talk about Stilettogal, and I think given with your background in knowing how to create the best events and knowing how to be ready for success as a self-branding expert, which I do consider you, and your experience as an entrepreneur, I mean, I don't see why what you just said shouldn't happen. So I really hope it happens sooner than later.
Thank you so much. Well, we're on the right track, and I'm very lucky to have 41 Ocean as my venue and the people in it who have really helped put Stilettogal even more so on the map.
All right, well, I got a couple quick questions here. Shannon has a question for you, and she wants to know who are some of the role models that you have and why?
My first role model is my mother. She has been a serial entrepreneur in her entire life. She has failed and she has succeeded. One thing I can say about my mom is that the amount of times that she's failed, she has gotten right back up and started over again. So she's a major role model for me. The other one is actually the woman I worked for in Paris when I was her daughter's nanny for the year. Her name is Patricia Barbizet, and she is the managing director of Artemis, which is the financial holding of Gucci Group and Pinot Printemps La Redoute in France. And she was headhunted from Renault, which is a car company in France, and she has really been a trailblazer for women in France, and I am very lucky to know her, and she's very strong and confident, and that's where I pull my style and my confidence from her.
Okay, very cool. Well, Brett has a question, and he wanted to know, hey, Hillary, I was kind of curious, when you were talking about, your organization, have you ever thought about doing programs that can give men who have not worked with women entrepreneurs the guidance on how to work with them? That's a good idea.
That's very interesting. No, I have not, but I like that idea. It's a very smart idea.
Okay, cool. Jessica has a question for you, and she wanted to know, hey, Hillary, I was kind of curious, what is your thoughts on Stilettogal doing more events for the boomer entrepreneurs, women that are 50 and up?
Well, it's funny that you should say that, but a lot of the women that do come to my events are boomers. They kind of range from the millennial generation all the way to the boomer generation. So we have tapped into that. For Stilettogal, my goal is really all about, the first one is connecting any women in business, and then also inspiring those young girls to become entrepreneurs. So we kind of run the gamut when it comes to our target market.
Okay, very cool. Well, on that note, we are adjourning for this interview. Hillary, I want to first say thank you so much again for what you're doing. I really love your mission. I really love what you're all about, and I really want to help in any way with Stilettogal. And I know this is the first of many encounters you and I will have in the lifetime to come.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Ash, for having me today. I really appreciate it, and everybody out there who was listening and asking questions. And if you want to reach me, you can send me an email with any other questions that you have to Hillary@stilettogal.com.
Awesome. Well, have a great day.
You too. Thanks so much.